Hello and welcome to PokéSins.
Fossil fools!
Our friends have arrived at the ruins of Alf.
Getting to the ruins of Alf from the national park takes quite a detour.
You can always tell an Aerodactyl fossil because the tail looks like an arrow.
And because no other Pokemon looks like it?
I'm so glad to see you again.
Don't mind my hair, I just got electrocuted.
This discovery I've made is extremely important to science, and it could be very newsworthy. If a word about it leaked out, there'd be cameras and reporters everywhere.
Wouldn't want that if it's newsworthy, car.
These kids are serious Pokemon trainers, and I'm sure they won't say a word until you make it public.
Well, if the professor says it's okay, I suppose it is.
I like that his opinion carries a lot of weight. So they do literally whatever. And did they know Ash and Co were coming here? Like I said, this was a big detour, and Ash and Co had a reason.
Make a little money.
Wobbuffet.
The water here in Alf is famous all over the whole world.
World famous water? I feel that's not true.
I'll buy the best of everything. Gowns, gold, diamonds, as long as they're expensive.
Shallowness. I see a tail. What Pokemon are in that? What Pokemon's in sushi?
Something must be clogging up the pumper.
A pump pumps, not a pumper. That reminds me a bit of Claydol. Not a Minun, but worth calling out.
I believe our Kabutops here may be somewhat older. Maybe as much as 10 or 20,000 years.
Something's a bit off about this guy's line deliveries.
You mean all Pokemon came from the water?
The oldest Pokemon fossils come from the ancient seas.
Over-dramatizing an archaeological discussion.
Water Pokemon are so mystical and mysterious. Oh, but their little gills and fins and flippers are so cute and cuddly.
Cuddly? Really? Don't get me wrong, I like her enthusiasm.
Maybe you need an assistant to help you.
Time to dry up, water girl.
Nice role reversal.
Behind these doors is a place 2 million years in the Pokemon past.
Why does it have a big red X on it?
What's that?
That's our archaeologically correct Aerodactyl. We created it specially for this exhibit using advanced modeling technology.
Fossil reviving's a thing, so why?
What do you call this place?
I call it the Ancient Pokemon Study Park.
Welcome to the Ancient Pokemon Study Park. Yeah, not quite as catchy.
It's a unique, interactive, educational amusement environment that recreates the world of prehistoric Pokemon.
Why would you build this when you're still discovering stuff? Look, I know we've already built the park, but I just found this new thing.
What's the green stuff that's all over these rocks? Looks like it's glowing.
That's called glowing lichen.
How scientific. What Pokemon is that?
This is what a Kabutops Maximus looked like.
Kabutops Maximus, really?
Our research team just unearthed several fossils in positions that suggest this type of encounter.
Sorry, is that implied to be a fossil? How did it die in the middle of eating?
What are they?
They've seen Omanyte and Omastar before. Other people thought it was a dream, but they know it wasn't. That's adorable.
This can't be.
Fossil reviving is a thing, right? It's been a thing since Gen 1.
Tell me now, are these creatures what I believe they are, Foster?
Why is he angry about this?
They're really real.
I never would have guessed they'd be afraid of us.
And he calls himself a Pokemon professor.
They're still a little bit jumpy, Professor. They haven't seen people for ages.
What do you mean, haven't seen humans for ages? Presumably they've seen you, and they weren't alive millions of years ago.
This must be the most important discovery in the history of Pokemon.
That's twice they've said that now, about different things.
This could be the most important discovery in the whole entire history of Pokemon.
This is like a boyhood dream come true.
No.
Ammonite.
Look at that.
If only Ash could see from his angle.
It was an Ammonite that first sparked my interest in Pokemon research. When I was 6, my class visited a Pokemon museum. The first thing I saw was an Ammonite shell. The spirals on it were so beautiful.
That's a pretty cool story.
Stink Pokemon!
Wobbuffet again.
Throw that thing away.
Throw it away! Don't you realize that I hold in my hands an extinct Pokemon?
They are so shit at their jobs. That's a well-known fact by now, but goddamn, get rid of that never-before-seen Pokemon. We have water to sell. And they have also seen them before.
Stuck up all of them Ammonite!
Wobbuffet fucking again. It wasn't even recalled that time. It just made the sound again.
I love catching water Pokemon more than anybody. But they've been living free for so long, catching them just wouldn't seem right.
That's quite sweet.
Just think about it, Pikachu. All the millions of things they've seen in their lifetime.
They are just assuming they've been alive for millions of years. That's insane.
Huh? Look there.
Where'd that other Ammonite come from?
Damn, if only they had security cameras to see this stuff coming. The grounds change colour between shots.
Check the reservoir. We'll get up there as fast as we can.
How would Noctowl know where the reservoir is?
I'll be famous and exceptionally well-dressed.
Vanity.
The reservoir's hard to get to. Ow! That's what keeps the Pokémon safe.
What Pokemon? You don't know that's where the Pokemon live. What a bizarre thing to randomly say.
Something must be happening up at the reservoir.
Sounds like trouble. We better hurry.
What the fuck do you think you were already doing?
Ammonite.
Wobbuffet.
Guys, look! They must have hundreds in there.
Let him loose right now.
Nothing doing, Twirbee.
This is another time when technically Team Rocket aren't doing anything wrong. Catching wild Pokemon? No problem. Pumping water out of a random mountain lake? Probably not.
We win, you lose.
How does she talk while doing that?
Now use your tackle attack.
Pikachu can't learn Tackle. Somehow being tackled blew up a tanker. And I think Ash just committed vandalism.
Let's fly away with these marvelous little mollusks.
I'm going to say that mollusks do exist.
Pikachu, use your Thunderbolt, Pikachu.
Bit of a fuck up there. He says Pikachu twice, and the second time his mouth wasn't moving.
Pikachu, use your Thunderbolt, Pikachu.
Pikachu's Thunderbolt attack will shock all the Ammonite and the Amistar too.
Damn, if only he had other Pokemon, or I don't know, there were 5 of them. This show has insane tunnel vision. Pikachu didn't work. Well, I'm out of ideas.
What's wrong?
What's stopping us?
I know. We loaded on too many.
Then it wouldn't lift up at all.
We'll have to lose a few.
Ignoring the fact that at that height, they could still fly away. Fucking Wobbuffet.
Noctowl, fly up and peck a hole in that balloon.
Because that has no chance of hurting all those Pokemon that live in shells.
Okay, Pikachu, use your Thunderbolt.
Thanks, Noctowl, for doing literally one thing. Back to Pikachu.
And I have a feeling they won't be coming to visit me at the Pokemon Park again. They only came because their world was being destroyed.
Their world is literally one lake.
Are you gonna stay and do research on them, Professor?
I must admit, I'd love to. But these Pokemon have had enough trouble, Brock. I think they've earned the right to live their lives in peace.
That is a stupid thing to say. It's a large population that has now been discovered. They should be researched. He even made a point of saying how well they'd adapted to the park. One could totally research them without ruining their lives.
They seem to have accepted this recreation of their prehistoric environment. They've adapted very easily.
As they say their goodbyes, Ash, Misty, and Brock know they're lucky to have seen the Pokemon of prehistory.
An episode about the ruins of Alph had no unknown in it whatsoever. I know this is because of the third movie, but come on! Why call them the ruins of Alph if you're going to change everything about them?
They're looking forward to an exciting future, because they've already seen an exciting past.
Yes, they have. Prior to this, they'd already seen it. -69. What a stupid non-episode. Literally nothing new happened in it.